So I'd like to begin by asking a very simple question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? I think so. I think so. I doubt it. I doubt it. I'm here today with a message of hope for all Americans. With your vote in this election, we will end inflation. And you know what? It's we, not me. We will stop the invasion of criminals into our country, and I will bring back the American dream for your children and for yourself. This is all you need to know. Kamala broke it. I will fix it. It's going to be very, very interesting. We'll fix it.
But we've already seen 4 years of this type of person at the helm, which was crazy. That's a miracle we survived it. And he had people back then who didn't embolden the worst of him as much as what we would be looking at.
Well, that's absolutely that's an excellent point, Joanne, because you actually had people who were trying to, as he perceived it, thwart his will. They would take stuff off his desk. They would ignore his instructions. They would tell him no. Sometimes they would tell him no directly to his face, like the Justice Department people did in the days leading up to January 6th, when he tried to get them to investigate the stolen election.
Right.
So all those people, including the generals, the ones who basically kept us out of trouble by telling him he couldn't do stuff, they're not going to be there. In fact, he was talking yesterday, I read, and he gave some crazy rally speech. Maybe it was in Houston, I don't remember. But he basically said he wants to swap out the generals in the Pentagon. He wants to swap out NASCAR drivers and
coaches.
Coaches, football coaches, right?
Yeah.
General Tuberville. Can you imagine? Oh,
but what? Right. So what is? I just want to see. Maybe you can answer this, because I've long tried to understand the thing with him in the military, because I know that his dad sent him to military school and that he had trouble with authority there, and he doesn't just hate the military. There is something deeply rooted in his psychology, I feel like, because it's so extreme the way he talked about McCain, the way he was triggered by McCain. He even last night, like you said, saying he'd replace the generals. He's always called them stupid. He wanted to kill Milley. So do you think that there's some kind of deep psychological thing with him and the military?
Yes. I mean, it's all a function of his narcissism. All right. He doesn't like not being the center of attention. He doesn't like people who outshine him. He doesn't like people who show him up in any way. And people who have courage, physical courage, moral courage, the kind of courage that it takes to be a successful military officer or a soldier generally. He doesn't like that. He doesn't like the fact that they're praised for sacrificing themselves or putting their lives at risk, because it's something he would never do.
Yeah.
And so to see others praised for that, praised for something he knows he's not capable of doing, and not even capable, not just capable, not capable of doing, but not capable of even understanding.
Yeah. Not
even capable of understanding. He doesn't understand what motivates people, for example, to oppose him politically. He thinks he thinks everybody's doing it for money, because that's what he does, or for power, or for attention, because that's what he does. Okay, he doesn't understand anybody who is acting on motives that don't motivate him. And he particularly hates people in the military because, they act with honor. He doesn't have that honor.
Right.
He knows. And that's the deep psychological roots of it. And narcissists are very, very jealous. They do not like, you and I know this, they do not like people who outshine them or make them feel insecure. And that's what military people do to Donald Trump. That's why he thinks of them as suckers and losers. I'm above them because I would never give my life for my country.
Right. It's so twisted.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
It's very, very twisted. And
Yeah.
it just tells you a lot. I mean, he is everything, if you, again, it goes back to the psychological traits of a sociopath. All of those traits and an extreme narcissist, all of those traits are traits you do not want your children to have.
No.
You tell your children, be modest, be kind.
Mm-mm.
Even when we're not always modest and we're not always kind and we're not always good, but we know what we're trying to do is like, we know when we're being bad, we feel guilty when we're being bad, when we don't live up to our best selves, but we don't live up to our religious standards or our moral standards or whatever it is. We feel guilty. He's not capable of that.
No.
And that's the whole point, is that's why he cannot be trusted with any power over human affairs.